can I go on to the minutes of the last meeting held on the 10th of September? Can I accept these as a true record, please? Have a show of hands. Thank you. Apologies for absence, we have none. Declarations of interest. We've got one declaration of interest.
Yeah, now received in section 151. So in terms of budget update report, I've got a non-pecuniary interest design chairman of Our Lady of Lord's Catholic Water Game Trust.
Thank you. Yeah. Item 4, school building improvement programme 2025 to 2026. The latest estimated cost. Can I ask Councillor James Walker-Gurley to report forward? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. This report seeks Cabinet approval to progress the 2025-26 schools building improvement programme to the construction phase, based on the latest estimated costs. This programme is funded primarily through the Department of Education's School Condition Allocation Grant, which the Council receives annually to improve the condition of our maintained school estate. The programme focuses on the health, safety and essential maintenance issues most likely to result in a school closure if left unaddressed. A wide range of potential projects was assessed, and those prioritised within the available £7.6 million budget are listed in Appendix A of the report. All projects have been developed for delivery by our partnership, our joint venture property partner. Before any work begins on a site, a mini competition is held to ensure value for money and competitive pricing. This £7.6 million investment presents a significant step in maintaining and improving the condition and learning environment of our schools. I therefore recommend that Cabinet supports the progression of the 2025-26 schools building improvement programme to the construction phase.
Thank you. Are there any views from Cabinet members? No? I'd like to put that to the vote then, please. Can I have a vote on this item? All in favour? Thank you. Item 5, financial monitoring report, period 5, 2025 to 2026. I will now like Councillor Stuart Matthew to introduce his report.
Thank you, Mick. The period 5 budget monitoring report shows a forecast overspend of 3.1 million currently projected. Unfortunately, this is 3.2 million worse than the previous forecast and reflects the increasing pressure on our adult social care services. Demand from increased numbers and complex cases in line with the experience of other councils continue to cause stress on the budgetary position. Underspending elsewhere in the budget is helping to offset these additional costs. The detail of the significant under and overspending is set out in the report. I'll draw your attention to the fact this was early in the financial year and so subject to change as we progress through the year. Colleagues will see in the report the various actions that we are taking to manage the financial challenges. The report also continues to show the increasing pressures on school budget due to increasing demand and cost in the high need block. Although we are behind other councils, we are following the national picture reflecting the chronic underfunding of SEND provision. Turning to the capital programme, this shows some slight slippage of spend in next year, particularly within the education and SEND portfolio of 4.5 million. This technical document also includes information of the cash management for the council. I formally move the recommendations which are on page 29 for this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Matthews. Can I invite Councillor Stuart Beswick, please, to come and share his views on this item? Thank you.
Morning, everyone.
Morning.
Everyone getting all right? Chair, with your permission, I'd like to address Cabinet on items 5 and 6 together.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. I note the report's projected overspend of 3.1 million at period 5. This is a concerning position, given that last year's mid-year forecast was broadly balanced at this stage. So I'm sure that we are all concerned that a pattern of in-year pressure seems to be emerging. It's clear that adult social care remains the biggest driver of cost pressures, with a forecast of 4.95 million overspend, despite the newly adopted sustainability plan. I wonder whether this plan's savings profile is deliverable within this financial year, or if the assumptions on demand and placement costs are too optimistic. It would be helpful for Cabinet to consider publishing the milestones and risk register for that sustainability plan, so that members and residents can see in plain terms how these savings will be achieved and at what stage. The high needs overspend of £33.7 million and the projected non-ISB reserve deficit of £31.7 million are stark figures. These are not just numbers on a page, they go to the heart of the Council's financial stability once the statutory override ends in 2028. I would urge the Cabinet to be honest about this and what it means. And where does this level of deficit place Nottinghamshire within the so-called override bracket? If we are in the bracket, what is being done to prevent us becoming trapped there? Once a council enters that position, experience elsewhere shows how difficult it can be to get out. We need to know there is a credible plan in place to stop this spiralling further. One that shows how spending will be brought back under control and how partners, schools and health services will be part of that recovery effort. I do not question the effort being made across services, but the Council needs to show that its financial grip is tightening, as unfortunately these numbers suggest it is loosening. Transparency, timely reporting and open sharing of delivery plans are what will rebuild confidence in the figures before us today. Again, with your permission, Chair, I'll now speak on the budget update report. But before I do, can I just point out on item 17, under the highways review, it does say a cross-party highways review was instigated, but I believe this to be in 2021, and I understand your highways review is a cabinet-only working group. So could I request that the papers are changed accordingly, please? So turning to the budget update and the medium-term financial strategy, we're all aware that this is a moment of genuine uncertainty, with local government reorganisation on the horizon and national funding reforms still unresolved. The strategy before us sets out intentions, but residents and staff will be looking for clearer assurance about the road ahead. The MTFS rightly refers to the potential impact of fair funding review and a business rates reset. It will be valuable to see what the Council's downside scenario looks like. For example, how severe a reduction in core spending power we are planning for, and what the implications would be for council tax and service delivery. I also note that the MTFS assumes a 2% pay award. Is this a prudent number given the current trajectory of inflation? The revised MTFS also shows intended savings of £45.3 million over a 3-year period. Historical records show that this projection is typically more than double the amount that would be recognised as being prudent. So can Cabinet share the details of these potential savings with us in a timely manner? The current uncertainty makes it all the more important for the administration to show transparency and democratic oversight in its financial planning. The formation of the Efficiency Working Group is a positive step, but the report doesn't yet set out its membership or its target savings when it intends to report. It will be reassuring to know whether the group has a quantified timetable for reporting and if that report will be available to members. We asked at the September Review and Scrutiny Committee for the Efficiency Review Outcome paper to come back to that committee once completed, and I'd like to confirm that that request still stands, please. Paragraphs 10 to 13 acknowledge the potential impact of LGR. Transition costs, harmonisation of pay systems, these are not small matters. It will be useful to know whether the council has earmarked a transition reserve or built any assumptions about redundancy, ICT migration or estate nationalisation into the MTFS. Given that early use of contingency in the monitoring report and the potential call on reserves for LGR, we should keep an eye on how thin our safety net is becoming. The MTFS needs to make explicit how much unallocated reserve remains in these commitments. I'm nearly finished, Chair.
It's all right.
The financial environment for local government is more volatile than at any time. The public expects us to plan prudently, to be transparent about risks and to make efficiency a lived reality, not just a headline in the paper. I hope Cabinet members will reflect on whether the information currently shared, particularly on efficiency plans, transition costs and scenario modelling, gives enough clarity for this council and for the communities that we serve to look ahead with confidence. Thank you.
Thank you. And just for clarity, we have asked for that item that you mentioned earlier under the previous administration for the previous review of the highways to be taken out. We agree that shouldn't have been in there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any views from Cabinet? No? Can we put that to the vote, please, with a show of hands? Thank you. Item 6, budget update report. Councillor Stuart Matthews.
The budget update report highlights the council's current and medium-term financial position, as well as the measures being taken to mitigate the predicted budget deficit. In introducing this report, it is worth reflecting on what we have learned in the 6 months that we have been in charge of this council. How well we have worked with officers to understand our context, issues, improvement journey, and removing waste from the council. The significant pressures driven by both demand and inflation on the delivery of our services. The funding gap we inherited from the previous administration. The overspending in adult social care of 20 million incurred last year, and we also inherited from the previous administration. The short period of time we have had to discover these issues and start to fix the council's finances. We have worked with officers to understand the true level of pressures and the likely impact of inflation on our services. Consequently, the medium-term financial strategy, or MTFS, the previous assumptions have been revised upwards by 43.1 million, which significantly more pressure on care services and home to school travel provision of SEND. Our total pressures and inflation assumptions is predicted to be 141.5 million over the MTFS. We have identified a significant level of saving plans to reduce the impact of these rising costs, which also start to close the funding gap. In total, we anticipate these plans could deliver 45.3 million. Remember the last administration only had a small savings plan of 12.5 million, where ours will be very much larger and ambitious. I know Cabinet colleagues have only just finished a high-level review of the budget pressures and inflation issues, and several meetings have been scheduled with colleagues to delve deeper into the cost drivers behind these. At present, together with some minor changes to base budgets, we will see the funding gap close to 15.9 million over the MTFS. Unfortunately, making our plans changes sustainable will take time, so we'll see an increase in the gap next year. I know we will continue to work with officers to close this funding gap. The report sets out assumptions and risks and how we will manage them. Colleagues will spot some gaps in the text, particularly the link to our new strategic plan and more detail on the mitigation plans. This will be completed in due course. This report reflects the journey we are on in setting the budget for next year. I say a journey because there are many unknowns which which will not become clear until nearer Christmas. The largest assumption in the MTFS model is the one about council tax. We inherited the previous administration's assumption that this would be set in line with government expectations. They planned the council tax will maximise at 5% across the 3 years. But we are the new administration, and although the model may continue to show this, and other councils have already announced their level of council tax for next year. We will review and decide upon the level of council tax after the further work with officers to close the funding gap and the announcement of local government settlement nearer Christmas. I formally move the recommendations, which is on page 46 of this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Matthews. Has cabinet members got any views or questions? No? We'll put that to the vote then, please. Thank you. That's carried. We'll move on to item 7 and 8. We're going to be taking these together, I believe. Councillor Justice is still struggling from laryngitis, but I'm glad you've attended today. But obviously she's really struggling with the voice. So Councillor Rory Green and Councillor Anna John are going to present in both these items. Okay.
Thank you, Readiness. So the agenda items on the health scrutiny review of school readiness and the refresh of Nottinghamshire's best start strategy are closely connected, hence being presented together. Both are helping families across Nottinghamshire thrive and giving every child the best possible start in life. To make sure everyone has a chance to contribute meaningfully, we suggest introducing each report first, followed by a joint discussion with comments on both items, which are welcome. So introduction to the report is that ensuring children are able, this is ensuring that children are able to get the best start from education, which is vital. Not enough children are starting school with the range of skills they need to succeed. Educational attainment is one of the main markers for well-being through the life course, and so it is important that no child is left behind at the beginning of their school life. School readiness is a measure of how prepared a child is to succeed in school cognitively, socially, and emotionally. School readiness is measured by the level of development of a child when they reach foundation stage at school. A measure called the good level of development at GLD at the end of early years foundation is used, and this measurement is used to monitor progress and better understand local needs. In 2023, the Health Scrutiny and Children and Families Select Committee began a review of school readiness in Nottinghamshire. A working group of members of both committees came together to review local data and evidence to inform the review. The working group was chaired by the chair of Health Scrutiny Committee, and the report's recommendations were shared and approved at Health Scrutiny Committee on the 18th of March 2025. Cabinet is now invited to consider and approve recommendations for this action. The objectives of the review were to identify the issues impacting on school readiness in Nottinghamshire, to examine the services which support families to get their children school ready. These are areas for examination, which were, the areas for examination were, characteristics of children who do not meet expected levels of development and therefore deemed as not school ready, evidence of what works to ensure children are meeting their expected outcomes, the current activity in Nottinghamshire and its impact to improve children's development from conception to school, and approaches taken to address children's speech, language, communication needs since COVID and how successful this has been. Further work that could be done to support children eligible for free school meals to meet their levels of development. So the findings of the review. The review identified that more needs to be done to improve information to families, including digital information that can be accessed anytime and promoted at specific stages of pregnancy and childhood, for example, through mandatory midwifery and healthy family team assessments, active promotion of the benefits of accessing childcare and early education opportunities is required, to help increase take-up rates, especially for our poorest children. The greater work is required to engage voluntary and community sector partners, such as faith groups, play groups, and community partnerships, to promote positive home learning environments and the benefits of play. I recommend the adoption of the recommendations as set out in this report, as on page 52, and ask for Cabinet's formal approval of the response arising from the review of school readiness.
Thank you, Councillor Anna John. I'll now hand over to Councillor Rory Green to present your report.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Good to see you all. Following on from Councillor John's report, I am pleased on behalf of Councillor Justice to introduce the refreshed Nottinghamshire Best Start strategy for 2025 to 2030. This strategy reflects a renewed commitment to giving every child in Nottinghamshire the best possible start in life for NCC, ourselves, and our partner organisations. We know that the earliest years from pregnancy to the age of 5 are critical in shaping lifelong health, well-being and opportunity. This strategy has been co-produced with families, professionals and partners across our system. It reflects that we've heard from parents and carers and is rooted in evidence for our updated joint strategic needs assessment of the 1,001 days from conception to the child's second birthday. The refresh strategy identifies 5 key priorities. First one is building blocks of health and well-being. The second one is parents' mental health. The third is preparing to be strong parents and healthy beginnings. The fourth, building strong relationships. And lastly, fifthly, is the early experiences, which summarises chat, play, read and learn. It also identifies cross-cutting themes such as Think Dad, which I'm a big fan of, engaging fathers and co-production with families. I was actually quite pleased to see a few dads at some of the family halls when I was visiting them, so we want to see more of that, which is fantastic. I think every child needs that too. Importantly, the strategy aligns with national policy and local plans, including the Nottinghamshire plan and a joint health and wellbeing strategy. It will be delivered through a strengthened Best Start strategic partnership and monitored by a new data dashboard to ensure impact. The strategy will be a key part of our efforts to improve school readiness, as Councillor John's referring to, working to deliver the scrutiny recommendations discussed and the government's new strategy, giving every child the best start in life. That was published in July last year. I was quite struck by a lot of family hubs work and some of the programmes, so I just wanted to highlight them in this report on behalf of the Cabinet. There's some great programmes like PEEP, Little Talkers, 1, 2, 3 Magic, toilet training workshops, which are vital. I think that's a big issue that we're trying to support parents with currently in the county, I think nationally. And I also would like to thank the staff of all family hubs. I was quite struck by their creativity of working with surgeries and the midwifery team to get that funnel support quicker and better. And so, yeah, we really appreciate their great work. I recommend this strategy to the Cabinet on behalf of Councillor Justice and ask for the Cabinet's formal approval of it so we can continue working together to ensure every child in Nottinghamshire can thrive. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Green. Can I invite Councillor Saddington, please, to give her views?
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Thank you, Ada, for allowing me to speak. We all share the ambition that every child in Nottinghamshire gets the best possible start in life. This strategy is described as a refresh, and in truth, it largely builds on 2021-2025 Best Start strategy developed under the previous Conservative administration. Many of the same priorities, parental mental health, parent-infant relationships, early home learning, remain at the heart of the plan. That continuity is welcome. The question now, however, is what is genuinely new here and whether the ambitions are matched by funding and measurable delivery. So moving on to delivery and measurement, the previous strategy included clear KPIs on school readiness and developmental milestones. The new plan mentions annual reporting, but doesn't yet publish baselines on targets. The administration may wish to consider producing a public annual scorecard tracking outcomes like breastfeeding rates, speech and language development, and the take-up of early years places. Without measurable indicators, it is difficult to know if families are actually seeing improvement on the ground. Moving on to governance and partnerships. The new Best Start strategic partnership is a positive step, but roles and accountability need to be transparent. Who ultimately owns delivery, the Health and Wellbeing Board or the County Council? Partnerships are welcome, but the Council must ensure it doesn't become a substitute for direct leadership or investment. Continuity and improvement. The previous Conservative administration invested heavily in family hubs and early intervention support. This strategy rightly keeps that focus. We encourage Cabinet to ensure the existing hubs are properly resourced before expanding further. Early intervention only works if frontline services have the capacity to act quickly when families first need help. So in closing, Chair, this strategy will be judged not by how well it aligns with national policy, but how much difference it makes to our children in Nottinghamshire. The commitment to the first 1001 days is vital, but it needs a funded plan, transparent data and clear accountability. We hope Cabinet will take this opportunity to provide that clarity so that every family can see tangible results from the aspirations set out today. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Saddington.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I invite views or comments from Cabinet members, please? Councillor Wright, Martin Wright.
Thank you, Leader. Mine's a comment and followed by a question at the end, which is an easy question to answer. I start by drawing attention to everybody that widely quoted figures state that 25% of 5-year-olds starting school start with at least one issue which affects their school readiness. A lack of toilet training, lack of communication skills, which involves hearing issues, sight issues, and speech development issues. They're also unable to interact with other children and sit and listen. We can all remember when we were younger, we used to sit and listen to the teacher reading a story. Well, I'm afraid it's stated that 25% of children can't sit and listen. The strategy mentions on many times early child development, but doesn't actually specify these issues that I've listed. Can I be reassured that these issues are involved with the early child development and they will be tackled by the appropriate actions? Thank you.
Councillor Green.
Thanks for the question. Absolutely. In my closing words, I alluded to when I visited these family hubs, I was quite assured that these particular issues that are happening are being addressed proactively already through our family hubs. The list of the courses that I alluded to, I can say them again if you want, but for the record, I'm not wasting their time. But absolutely, great question, valid point, and the amazing work that is happening at these family hubs are tackling these issues already. So that's phenomenal. So we'll get to see the fruit of that labour in due course. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Wright, and thank you, Councillor Green. Are there any more comments?
I just quickly wanted to thank Councillor Green. Obviously, I'm struggling with my voice, so it's very good of him to step in and present that on my behalf. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Dolly.
Yes, thanks again, Councillor Green. And I'll speak something that Dawn would have told us about had her voice been better. I'm delighted to say that if we go to page 9 on the best start strategy, one of the interesting things is smoking. You'll be aware that smoking in pregnancy is one of my main drives to reduce over Nottinghamshire in the next number of years. And Councillor Justice herself was directly involved in this on the 27th of the 10th, 2025, which was reported in the chat as promoting a 6-week Stop Smoking in Pregnancy campaign with the community smoking services to reduce smoking in pregnancy in Nottinghamshire. And a little while ago in 2019, it was up at 16%, which was quite high. Now it's down at something like 13%. We've also mentioned the Phoenix team and the Sherwood Forest Hospital Trust, who have done phenomenal work at working at reducing smoking in pregnancy, particularly with recognising that it's not enough to stop the mother smoking, you actually have to stop the other members of the household smoking, and that's where it had a unique success. And I have to point out that smoking is associated with problems in pregnancy, low birth weight, miscarriage, stillbirth, and that really mysterious sudden infant death syndrome, which is a tragedy. Also, mothers who smoke in pregnancy cost the NHS twice as much as mothers who don't smoke. So you'll understand my passion for this, and my thanks to Councillor Justice for the push that she's done in Mansfield around that. It would be remiss of me not to look at the same thing which said that 5-year-olds experience problems with dental decay, 18.1%. Everybody around this table will know that this council has supported me in my work to drive fluoridation into the drinking water of Nottinghamshire, and we continue to make that one of our strategic plans for this administration in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Dudley. Is there anybody else? Can I ask us all to vote on both these items at the same time, please? We're taking them together. Sorry, go on.
Do them.
Go on separately. All right, okay. I stand corrected. Item 7. Can we vote on item 7, please? Yeah. Can we vote on item 8, please? Thank you. We'll move on to item 9, Retender of the care provision for extra care schemes in Nottinghamshire. Can I ask Councillor Answer to introduce his report, please?
Thank you, Chairman. Good morning, everybody. This report seeks Cabinet approval to procure a framework of providers for care provision at extra care schemes across Nottinghamshire, including any future developments. Approval is also sought to tender for care provision for extra care services in Rushcliffe to replace the current short-term interim arrangements and bring the Rushcliffe contract in line with timescales for new extra care framework. Extra care enables older people to have their own front door within a community setting and with readily accessible personal care support on site. It enables people to remain independent for longer as they get older and avoids the need for more costly residential care. Extra care is currently commissioned as part of the home-based care framework, which is due to end in 2028. Separating the extra care contract would allow us to maximise the potential of extra care by offering a framework of providers who will be able to offer greater choice as well as contingencies if the provider is no longer able to deliver the service. Each call-off under the framework would be tailored to the requirement of the extra care schemes and the people living there. Extra care in Rushcliffe is currently commissioned separately, and the existing contract is due to expire in July 26. There is therefore a potential gap in provision between the end of this contract and the establishment of the new extra care framework from 2028. Approval is sought for the tender for this care provision and extra care in Rushcliffe to bring into line with the timescale for the new framework. Extra care is a type of housing also known as housing with care or independent living with care. They provide self-contained homes, usually flats, for older people with 24-hour on-site care and support, staff available if needed. It offers the privacy of a private home with the added security of an on-site care team and a variety of commercial facilities, and includes all while allowing residents to maintain independence. It is often considered as an alternative to residential care. Council currently commissioned 12 extra care schemes across Nottinghamshire with 222 nominations, i.e. individual homes with extra care schemes. Care is funded by the County Council individuals with an assessed social care need. The Council commissions the care and support services for independent sector providers who are registered with the Care Quality Commission. Residents pay an assessed contribution to the cost of care where applicable. Housing is managed separately between the individual and the housing provider, usually the district or the borough council, and with a typical managed via the tenancy agreed where individuals pay housing costs. Extra care is Nottinghamshire costs an average of £27,715 per person per year, compared with £43,344 per person per year in a Band 4 care home. Extra care will also offer a savings against home care, where a person is receiving 4 calls a day at an extra cost of £37,460 per year. So that's highlighting the report and the background to it. And I formally move the recommendations, which are on page 114 of the papers. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ansett. Are there any comments or questions from Cabinet members? Can you switch your... Sorry, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, switch your mic off, please, when we finish using them, because otherwise the next person didn't work. Yeah. Any questions or comments? No? Can we put that to the vote then, please, members? Thank you. We'll move on to item 10, the highways review. Can I invite Councillor Bingham to introduce his report, please?
Yes, good morning, thank you. A little bit of background first on the highways. The Nottinghamshire has a complex highways network of over 2,760 miles. The highway network is a significant asset to the county, with a gross replacement value estimated at over £10 billion. It comprises 14 asset groups, including literally hundreds of thousands of assets in terms of streetlights, trees, drainage assets. It's within this context that the Council's current capital maintenance investment programme of over £52 million and its annual maintenance revenue budget of £20 million should be seen. These significant levels of investment and cost, coupled with the vital role the network fulfills, make it important that the network continues to be maintained and managed in a cost-effective and efficient way. I think our overview is that efficiency improvements and prevention rather than cure to the fore in this with better outcomes costing less. Turning to the report, it provides an update on the highways review that was launched following the Cabinet's decision on the 23rd of June 2025. The review has been led by elected members and focuses on improving the condition of Nottinghamshire's road network. It builds on and acknowledges previous reviews and aligns with the Council's current and emerging plans. The review took place against the backdrop of a national 17 billion
Carry on, sorry.
backlog in road repairs and declining public satisfaction with highway maintenance. That amounted, by the way, to approximately 400 million backlog in Nottinghamshire. The review's findings are under 4 key themes. First is maximising funding opportunities. Nottinghamshire now receives most of its highways capital funding, around 45 million out of 52, from the East Midlands Combined County Authority. For 25-26, MCA provided £15 million more than usual Department for Transport levels. Looking ahead, MCA will receive £2 billion over 6 years from central government through the Transport for City Regions Fund. Nottinghamshire County Council is working closely with MCA to secure an increased multi-year funding commitment, which would allow for better planning and more efficient delivery of highway works. We were gratified last week to hear from the Mayor that roads need to be accessible by everyone, and there is a focus on this issue. Second in the report is prudent asset and network management. The review looked at how the Council manages its highway assets, including pothole repair techniques, drainage and capital programmes. The panel supported a right repair, right first time approach, which has already led to a 42% reduction in the use of temporary coal-laid materials. Preventative treatments like surface dressing and micro asphalt were also endorsed to stop potholes forming in the first place. And it's worth emphasising that these preventative measures cost some 1/10 of the cost of resurfacing. The review also highlighted the benefits of a whole street approach, repairing all assets on a road at once, and recommended further improvements in managing utility works, including exploring a rental lane scheme. Third in the report is effective and efficient delivery. The Council's highway services are delivered by Via East Midlands Limited, a company wholly owned by the County Council. Via has consistently met or exceeded performance targets with strong results in pothole repairs, drainage, lighting and management of all highway assets. The company has embraced innovation, including AI-supported asset management, and has doubled its patching output per gang. A 4.68 million capital investment programme is underway to modernise key depots, improving staff welfare and operational resilience. The review supports continuing Via's collaborative procurement strategy and its focus on local supply chains and social value. It's worth mentioning this year, out of 289 major capital schemes, 218 have so far been completed, with the vast majority planned for completion before the end of December. This will cover carriageways, footways, structures, drainage, street lighting, traffic signals and safety fencing. For carriageway resurfacing, this totals to nearly 18 miles of our network currently, for the year, of which currently 14.5 miles have been completed. As of October. In addition, approximately 60 miles of surface dressing works have been delivered. The fourth item is improved communications and community-led works. The review recognised improvements in how the Council communicates about highways, including the use of the MyNots app, explainer videos and QR code feedback. It recommends further enhancements such as more localised updates, a customer-friendly highways plan and a new highways customer service strategy. Community-led programmes like the Traffic Management Review Programme and the Lengthsman Scheme were praised, with suggestion to increase their funding and looking to expand the Lengthsman Scheme to urban areas. In conclusion, the review presents a comprehensive set of outcomes aimed at improving the highway service for residents. It recommends that Cabinet endorses these outcomes and that the Cabinet member working group continues to meet quarterly to oversee progress. I formally move the recommendations which are on page 125 of the report. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Bingham.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can I invite Councillor Introna, please, to give his comment?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Chairman. If I may, I would firstly like to thank Councillor Bingham and officers in producing this report and to make, with your permission, Mr. Chairman, some comment upon the highways review. So, Mr. Chairman, we welcome the continued focus on Nottinghamshire's highways, an issue all residents care very deeply about. It's worth remembering that much of the work highlighted in this review tries to build directly on initiatives that began under the previous Conservative administration. The right first time approach, the expansion of local patching gangs, and the renewed emphasis on communication with residents were already being delivered and were showing improvement, and I believe were well received by the public. Against that backdrop, it is reasonable to ask what's actually changed. In terms of continuity and added value, the report's themes, better funding, better asset management, efficient delivery, and stronger communications are all very familiar. Those same priorities were as a result of the 2021-22 review. If the outcomes are broadly the same, the residents will want to know what's new. There's nothing wrong in saying that you're carrying on doing what is working and what was working. Paragraphs 5 to 9 talk about quarterly monitoring by a Cabinet working review. We need to see those updates published with clear metrics, response times, condition ratings and resident satisfaction levels. Openness and transparency will be the true test of this review's effectiveness. As the report notes, the Highways Capital Programme relies heavily on funding from MCA. Under the previous administration, we consistently highlighted that funding was the main barrier to faster progress, not a lack of strategy. And you will all be seeing this as county councillors in your divisions. Key question for Cabinet to reflect on is what proactive steps are being taken to secure a larger, fairer share of MCA's £2 billion for our local roads, for our maintenance of local roads and repairs. The Mayor is funneling millions into active travel schemes instead of tackling the real infrastructure challenges that are holding our region back. This administration needs to challenge this. Without that financial support, even the best plans will remain aspirations only. In terms of contract performance of via East Midlands, the review involved via staff, that's positive, but residents want to see results on the ground. The right first time and permanent repair principles that we introduced must remain the standard, not the exception, and continue to be improved upon. In terms of communications, the previous administration made some real progress, I believe, in this area, with local communications through area newsletters, online reporting tools and direct updates to councillors. The new review rightly keeps that focus and doesn't reinvent them. Residents want clear information on when repairs will happen, why roads are prioritised and how they can report problems quickly. The comment relating to regular meetings with district managers, well, I'm not sure how that has changed because that is what we've been doing for a number of years. But it does actually require, however, all county councillors to actually engage with their district councillors, district highways managers, and actually turn up to the meetings. That's how you get stuff done for your residents. Mr. Chairman, our view is very simple. This council already had a strong highways improvement plan. What matters now is delivery and funding. The test of this review will be whether it accelerates repairs, improves communication and secures more investment from MCA for Nottinghamshire's roads. We'll support genuine improvements, but we'll continue to challenge duplication and ensure that taxpayers see real value for their money. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councillor. Can I invite views from fellow members, please, of the cabinet? I'd like to make one comment that I alluded to earlier for Councillor Bingham. We're going to take this as item 3. We said we wanted taken out. We said that earlier in the week. It's still in there. So when we're voting on it, we're not voting on item 3. That's being taken out. That was alluded to. Thank you. Anybody else? Councillor Kelvin Wright.
Thanks. Could I just get some clarity on the Lensman schemes that were mentioned in the report, please, and how they might work practically?
Yeah, in terms of practicality, I mean, they're already being delivered. So it's communication between the parish councils and the council acting on those requests and driven by the parish councils, really, which we as councillors can help them to engage with.
Okay. Councillor Kelvin Wright again.
I think the devil's going to be in the detail for working out clearly that has precept implications for parish councils and locals.
Yeah. Thank you. I'd also like to echo what Councillor Bingham said earlier, and I'd like to thank the committee for what they've done. And like you alluded to, we're going to be having quarterly meetings to make sure we stay on top of this, because obviously it was a big ask from our residents, and we'll make sure there is a massive improvement across the whole of the county throughout our tenure.
I can add that it's already, I know we've had a decent summer, but the reduction in complaints is already showing through, and we've had a lot of praise for the work that has gone on through the summer.
Yeah, I know we're not at silly season yet of potholes, but I know we're right down. This time last year, 800 and something. I think it's 244 at the minute. But obviously, we're not in the midst of winter yet. And like I was just saying, we are not stopping here. This work programme will carry on, and we're even looking at new equipment and obviously improving the scheme moving forward. So it's not stopping here. It will improve month on month. Thank you, Councillor Bingham.
Thank you.
Just to reiterate 41, where it says that we're making a strong case from the County Council to MCA for long-term levels of funding. And can I just reiterate that the chairman of the Transport Committee for MCA is none other than our own leader, Councillor McBarton. And if there's anybody going to secure the best deal and the most funding, people of Nottinghamshire, it has to be Councillor Barton. Thank you.
Yeah, we both sit on that committee, obviously, has that developing connection, if you like, with the mayor, and obviously behind the scenes all the time is the work going on by officers that are working hard to secure us that funding as well.
Yeah, I'd echo that, and thank you. And just on that one, I know the 614 isn't here, but we recently got a big chunk of money, an extra £7.5 million, was it, for the 614, which hopefully will be starting very soon.
Yeah, well, not spade in the ground, but...
No, I didn't say that. That's the mayor's words. I didn't say that, I just said soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else? Can I have a vote on this then, please, from cabinet members? Thank you. Item 11, disposal of land in Radcliffe-on-Trent, the Paddocks. Can I hand over to Councillor Walker-Gurley to introduce this report, please?
Thank you, Chair. This report seeks Cabinet approval to support the sale of surplus land at the Paddocks with Radcliffe-on-Trent to the highest bidder. The Council submitted outline planning application in March 2023 for up to 75 residential dwellings on the 3-hectare site. Following marketing in March 2025, the site was offered through a formal tender process on an unconditional basis. A total of 12 bids were received and recorded by the Council's bidding portal. The highest bidder has demonstrated both the financial capacity to complete the purchase and a strong track record of delivering residential developments across the East Midlands. They propose to deliver the scheme as 100% affordable housing, which will require only part of the site to achieve the 75 dwellings currently consented. To safeguard the Council's interests, an overage deed will be entered into to capture any additional value should further dwellings be developed beyond the approved number. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I remind members to refrain from making comments on the detail of the exempt appendix during this part of the debate? I would like to now invite views from cabinet members. No? Oh, Councillor Wright.
It may be worth a comment, Leader, that 75 affordable homes, that's something that we really need in Nottinghamshire, in the north of the county, and we need them in the south of the county. So well done to that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Anybody else? No? I'd like to put that to the vote then, please. Thank you. Item 12, exclusion of public. Cabinet asked to agree the public excluded for the remainder of this meeting on the ground that discussions are likely to involve the disclosure of exempt information described in the Schedule 12A of the Local Government Act 1972, and the public interest in maintaining the exemption outweighs the public interest in disclosing this information. Is that agreed? Yeah.